My name is Francis Kakai, and I must take this opportunity to thank all of you for having me here and for giving me a chance to appear before you, and I don't take this for granted. As I said, my name is Francis Kakai Kissinger. I'm a lawyer by profession. I hold a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Nairobi. I hold a postgraduate diploma in international trade law from the University of Turin in Italy. And finally, I hold a master's degree specializing in human rights, governance, and aspects of elections. In terms of award, I was awarded a scholarship by the International Labour Organization to go and study the postgraduate diploma in trade law from the University of Turin. Later on, sometimes in 2006, I was awarded another scholarship again to go and study human rights, governance, and aspects of elections at a master's level in the United States of America. In terms of my experience, Chair, and what makes me think I'm qualified for this position, allow me to only focus on the aspects of my CV that is relevant to the position that I've applied for. But I must also mention that I've had an advantage or a privilege of being a lecturer, and I taught at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, and I also taught at the Kenya School of Law. So let me focus now, Chair, on the relevant experience. I first got exposed to election in 1997. As a very young student then, I was just about to complete my university, and the late chairman of the ECK, the defunct ECK, the late Honorable Justice Zacchaeus Chesoni, gave me an opportunity to work in the 1997 general election. At that time, the ECK, the defunct now, was dealing with the issues of civic and voter education. But if you fast forward now, civic education is no longer a domain of the current IEBC. So Zacchaeus Chesoni then, may his soul rest in peace, thought I will be in charge of training of trainers, in the sense that I'll train so many clerical officers who will then be deployed outside to go and man the general election. After completing that task on election in 1997, so I was actively involved in 1997, after 6 months, the late Chesoni gave me another contract again to be in charge of our warehouse and supervising people in that warehouse where now the election materials, the ballot boxes and ballot papers, you remember those days we were using the black ones, were now being brought back to the headquarters for storage and for purposes of preparation of election petition. Those are what we call sensitive electoral materials. That was the end of my assignment with the Electoral Commission of Kenya. And sometimes in 2007, in 2006, I left Kenya to go and undergo my master's degree in the US. Came back in 2007. That was an election year as well. On 1st of December in 2007, I was recruited fresh from the US. I was recruited by ELOG. ELOG gave me an opportunity to be the Chief Executive Officer. And at this point, I must disclose that Dr. Koki Muli, at the time, was the centerpiece behind ELOG when she was working with IED. So they gave me a job as a CEO, and ELOG was then coordinating elections, observation, and monitoring within Kenya. And it didn't materialize because hot on the heels, UNDP was also seeking for election observation and experts in election to assist in civic and voter training. So my good friend, Dr. Karuti Kanyinga, had acquired a very huge consultancy with the UNDP. And Karuti Kanyinga reached out to me and said I should join the team to go around the country carrying out civic and voter education. So I joined the team, and I was allocated two provinces. At the time, we used to call them provinces. I was allocated 2 provinces, the Rift Valley and the Western. My responsibility was to go through and engage with all stakeholders, known and unknown, in election matters. So the churches, the civil society, the CBOs, politicians, candidates, and so forth, to train them on civic and voter education. That engagement was very successful, and we went into election.